Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Continuity Report for July 5th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 27. I'm MayorWatt, and along with the Sentient AI from the future, we're going to talk about a crime drama reminder. It's a PSA. An upcoming crime drama with Emilia Clarke, and Denzel Washington's next movie, a dark fantasy movie that scares you, and a cult conspiracy thriller on Netflix. Hold on, there's more to this article. Well, it's on Netflix for now. Oh, too soon?
Always.
Hello, Sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, ohmTown citizens. And I see the time machine is still in play.
Yeah, so it's a time machine episode. Thanks for the reminder. The Sentient AI got untangled from the dual quantum singularities and made it into this episode. Maybe not WarCrafters or the TechnologyToday or FourWheelTech, but we'll see. Maybe the time machine will overheat and we won't be able to do them today. If you want today's show notes, you can hit !TCR over in the chat on Twitch, but they're already embedded in the description on YouTube. And I say it like this and like that because on one screen is Twitch and on another screen is YouTube, and it's actually two different computers at that point. But whatever. You ready to get into this?
I am.
All right. So this is ohmTown as it was July 5th. Because we are actually from the future, we've gone back in time a day. But this is Continuity Report, and this is where a lot of articles are grabbed from. But we can grab entertainment news from anywhere in ohmTown. Why? Because I'm the mayor. Anyway, the first article is over in the Continuity Report. Apple TV Plus's new podcast-inspired crime drama is a reminder to watch Taron Egerton's 98% Rotten Tomatoes miniseries, Smoke. Taron Egerton's new true crime-inspired series, Smoke, marks another great addition to Apple TV Plus's catalog, but his 2022 crime series of the same streaming service is arguably even better. Has had several great roles throughout his career so far, ranging from Eggsy in the Kingsman. That's funny. Taron Egerton was Eggsy in the Kingsman series.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
Huh.
Wonder if the role was written specifically for that actor.
Yeah, and like I wonder if he's been called Eggsy in like the real world, you know? That would be interesting. Anyway, so series to Elton John in the biopic Rocket Man with roles across several genres. Egerton has more than proven that he can handle. Huh?
Eggsy.
Eggsy has more than proven that he can handle both intense and comedic roles, though his new series, Smoke, leans far more heavily into the drama and tension. I don't like true crime. I want...
Yeah, you want fictional.
Yeah, because like true crime means that it can actually happen in the real world. When it's
worse than that.
That it has happened.
Yes.
Yeah, that it actually
but
has
I know
happened.
What you mean.
Yeah. I'd rather the fantasy of a fictional crime, and I know that nobody was actually hurt in the whole manufacturing of that series. When it's true crime, then you're like, crap. I'm actually watching the story of somebody
this is an interesting story. Oh, no.
Yeah, crap. Well, the article is over in Screen Rant. Emily Long put the article together, and you can use AI to generate a summary of the story, which is kind of ironic because nobody wants, there's this backlash about AI generated content.
Right, but there's no backlash when you're using it for your own use, I guess.
I suppose so, yeah. So Egerton leads Smoke's cast as Dave Goodson alongside Journey Smollett, I guess, or Smollett. I'm not sure how they pronounce her last name, as Detective Michelle Calderon. The pair is tasked with catching arsonists on the West Coast as the number of fires rise suspiciously. Shockingly, Smoke is based on a real arsonist and a podcast called Firebug, which highlighted their crimes. The dark but compelling series and the crime that inspired it are fascinating, but along with Smoke, Egerton actually has another great 3-year-old true crime series that is similarly entertaining. Blackbird. It's another true crime series. Interesting. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison without the opportunity for parole. It's basically Egerton stars as James Jimmy Keene, a drug dealer who is caught by the FBI during a sting operation, and due to the extent of his drug dealing business, he's sentenced to 10 years. He's offered a dangerous deal, which, if accepted, could lead to his entire sentence being commuted and his record cleared.
Okay, this is pretty interesting. I mean, to go undercover to catch a serial killer?
The only problem with that is if anybody knows that they were caught, then they're basically, the well is poisoned from that point on. They're basically, they have to prove that they're not cahooting. Keene's decision to go undercover as an informant is gripping thanks to the potential for him to get caught or hurt at nearly every turn. This is one of those like spoiler alert moments that yeah, I
Yeah,
don't think I
that's
want to
true. Unless
continue.
that's in like the first 2 minutes of the show or something.
Yeah, I mean, as we scroll down, who knows what else is going to get exposed. And you don't want me exposing myself. All right, let's keep going.
Overshare.
There you So there you go. There's Smoke, and then there is Blackbird is another true crime series that Egerton is in. So go check it out. Let's keep going. The next article is moving on. The next article is over in the Continuity Report. Charlie Hunnam and Emilia Clarke's upcoming crime drama can be the Breaking Bad replacement we've been craving for 17 years, apparently. They lead an upcoming crime drama series, which seems to have the potential to become the Breaking Bad replacement. I never watched Breaking Bad. I'm not interested in Breaking Bad. Yeah. So while
You don't want to buy, sell, or produce Breaking Bad?
No, yeah, I don't want to buy anything processed, or sell anything processed, or buy anything bought, sold, or processed. Really, I just want to hang out here in ohmTown. Anyway, so while many acclaimed shows like Netflix's Ozark have been compared with the hit series Breaking Bad, is yet to find a worthy replacement. The article, it's done. The article is over at Screen Rant. Did I announce yet? The new
I don't
show?
think so.
Not in this one. Okay, well, I will here in a second. So, Dhruv Sharma over at ScreenRant.com put the article together. And given how Breaking Bad is often touted as peak television, it seems unlikely that any show will be able to replace it anytime soon. However, from the looks of it, an upcoming crime drama based on the acclaimed comic book series might have the potential to match Breaking Bad. So, what is the comic book series? Does it say yet?
We don't know yet.
Oh, The Criminal. Written by Ed Brubaker and illustrated by Sean Phillips. The Criminal comic book series has been picked up by Amazon Prime Video for a TV adaptation. The comic's acclaim is enough to highlight the upcoming show's potential. However, what makes it even more promising is that the original author, Ed Brubaker, is involved in the project as its co-showrunner. And
that is a good chance for success then.
Right. Because if it is amazingly written and everybody loves the comic,
and it stays true to the original,
it's a recipe for a success. Now, is it being turned into live action or is it going to be animated? It's live action?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it tells us that.
In the show and the comic, the impact of one crime also echoes into the lives of many characters across several generations, creating a massive domino effect that forces many to deal with the web of consequences. Similar to Breaking Bad, the Criminal comics are often praised for their focus on characters instead of the acts of crime themselves, making a compelling cautionary tale. So, let's see. The role. So Emilia Clarke and Charlie Hunnam in Criminal will be explained. It says in the upcoming series. Yeah, it must be legit. Not legit, but live action.
Well, it must be live action, yeah.
Otherwise, they would be sitting there saying this is animation all over the place.
Right.
So I'm not going to read any more of this because there is a spoiler in there already. Um, yeah, so boom. But if you scroll over to this, it tells you more about the characters themselves. So if you haven't read the comics, there's spoilers in this because when you read comics, you slowly get groomed into understanding the complexity of the characters, right? That just kind of builds on top of each statement. Yeah, I don't really like exposing this without a spoiler warning. So anyway, let's keep going. Sound good?
Sounds good.
So the next article is over in the Continuity Report. Denzel Washington's next movie can hit a milestone only 5 actors in history have achieved. So, career milestone. Washington is a celebrated actor whose career kicked off in 1975. What?
Oh, wow. I think I know what the milestone is.
Living forever. Though he did
Something
not.
like the number of years as like with acting credits or something.
Interesting. Though he did not have a breakthrough on-screen role until he took the role of Dr. Philip Chandler in the medical drama St. Elsewhere. What? Denzel Washington was in St. Elsewhere? I don't remember that.
I've never seen it.
Which ran for 6 seasons from 1982 through 1988. See, I keep wanting to do like these show things, like we all hang out and watch and talk about the stuff. I think it would be fun. But every time I think about it, I go, when am I going to do this? I have to do less to do more somewhere else.
Yep, there's only so many hours in the day.
So the article is over at Screen Rant. Brendan Klein put the article together. Although he was part of the main cast of the series through season 6, he had already begun to transition into being a movie star by the time it went live. With his most notable role during that period, that of real-life South African activist Steve Biko in the 1987 apartheid drama Cry Freedom. So most recently, Washington played Macronus in the Ridley Scott legacy sequel Gladiator 2, starring opposite Paul Mescal, Pedro Pascal, Paisel? No, it's got to be Pedro Pascal. Connie Nielsen, Fred Hetchinger, and Joseph Quinn. However, his next movie is even more promising than that title, which is the 12th highest grossing release of 2024. So he can achieve his 10th Oscar nomination with his next movie, and it reunites him with an iconic director after nearly 20 years. Wow. What do you think? I
wonder who else have that many.
Let's see here. Every actor with 10 or more acting nominations at the Oscars. Denzel Washington could become the 6th. There you go. Meryl Streep, Katharine Hepburn, Jack Nicholson, Bette Davis, and Laurence Olivier.
So that's interesting to me because I would only consider 2 of those as being reasonably recent actors. So that's pretty rare.
Yeah. Wow. But Katharine Hepburn, which I think is, well, Bette Davis is, their 2 winning titles are pretty old school. But
I see. Right. Because I'm just basing it off the wins, not the nominations.
Yeah. But yeah, the latest on Golden Pond is the latest for Katharine Hepburn. And Jack Nicholson has won 3 since 1975. And Meryl Streep, latest one is The Iron Lady in 2011. So, yeah, all of these.
But look at hers. She's been nominated 21 times.
Yeah, pretty wild.
Which is not really surprising to me.
So, let's see. There are very few 3-time winners. So, yeah, I mean, if he wins another one, right, he would be one of the few. There's only
3 actors that have won 3 or more.
Wow. That is pretty tough. Anyway, I don't know. I've got a crush on Denzel Washington of sorts. You know, I love their acting. I mean, I think I've loved their characters, their portrayals in every movie that they've ever been in that I've decided to watch.
And they seem like they can do any style of movie, which to me speaks to their quality of acting.
Yeah, broad spectrum. And I don't think that he's turned into a D-bag like a lot of people. When they have great success and are immune to social pressures, they turn into sociopaths. Everybody seems to.
On the rare times I've seen statements about him or by him, they seem pretty down to earth.
Yeah, he's like, what's his name? Johnny Mnemonic. Keanu Reeves.
Right.
Seems. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. The next article is over in the Continuity Report. I've watched a lot of dark fantasy movies. Not me, but I have. But this is the author. But none of them scared me more than a Little Scene 2018 film.
Okay, so scary alert in case any people are sensitive to scary images.
I don't have scary alert. Yeah,
I know. Sorry. I've been asking you to make a banner for that for a while.
Oh. I'm a horrible mayor. So fantasy's always been a ripe genre for horror, one that's netted such iconic films as Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth and Robert Eggers' The Witch. However, let's not forget the sweeping horror crusade emerging from Europe in recent memory with films like The Vordelok, which I haven't seen, You Won't Be Alone, which I haven't seen, still leaving us quivering in our seats with unique haunting narratives. Another bright or more fittingly dark example that's arrived in the last decade is Drog, a Swedish horror film that follows a search party's descent into an eldritch, shadowy territory rampant with pagan worship and whatever beasties. So prepare thy butts for whatever scary stuff might be on the screen. Will Walker or over at screenrant.com put the article together. Released in 2018, Drog, I think is how it's pronounced. It might be Droff, I'm not sure. It might be Bob, for crying out loud. It's a Swedish horror film.
Right, we don't know how it's actually pronounced.
Yeah, somebody phonetically present that to me, and I'll never mistake how to pronounce Draug. Draug. It's named after a dragon. Anyway, pagan worship is involved, and whispers of the mythical Draugr. Oh, no, I know that. They're dwarves. That's basically a dwarf, I think.
Oh, okay. Hence the like dark fantasy.
Like an evil dwarf. Hold on, let's see. Draug, right? Yeah. Let me see. Oh, no. Okay, so this is a undead creature, specifically a reanimated corpse, often found guarding their burial mounds or treasure. But yeah, there's a game that I thought that they're called Draugr, but maybe they're undead. And I keep thinking that they're dwarves, evil dwarves. Anyway, so yeah, that's the thing that genuinely scared them within the dark fantasy realm. The film's ancient subject matter is the stuff of nightmares. I don't know, man. There's what's it called? What is the name of that movie that scares me to this day? Because I was young when I saw it, and I went to close a door in the den of the house I was in, and air pressure slammed the door shut when I approached it. And I think I laid an egg. I'm not quite sure.
I can't think of the name of it.
Oh, what is it called? Hold on. There was a green cylinder of goo, and it was inside a church. Prince of Darkness. Man, I knew it. So Prince of Darkness. Anyway, Prince of Darkness is the one movie that to this day, like, I've seen other horror movies like Poltergeist and all that. Yeah. Prince of Darkness.
But that one's up there.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah. If there was a mountain of scary movies, Prince of Darkness would be near the top. I'd have to go through and like search and detach myself from the show for a little bit for me to think about the rest of this stuff. But other movies like 1970s era movies that still scare me exist.
But there's probably like fewer I don't know, like rails on them, they could actually be scarier than modern stuff. This is interesting too because it's such a fast-paced movie, which to me, I can't tell if that would go for or against the horror because depending on how slowly they roll it out.
Yeah, so if it goes fast and furious, you're basically wetting yourself for an hour
Right,
and
like
28
your
minutes.
stress meter's off the charts for that whole time or something.
You might just suffer from cognitive dissonance and you just cannot just contemplate enough because one thing after another is happening, you know? It's like PTSD.
Right.
So, in the sense, the titular, Draugr of the film is not some masked phantom or a twisted abomination of nature, but nature itself, set on a territorial hunt for its powerless, intrusive prey. Again, you end up getting towards that spoiler kind of a thing where they talk about Norse mythology. You try to say Norse mythology really fast. Norse
mythology.
You get out. You're okay.
Nice callback to another horror film.
Dun dun dun. Let's keep going. The next article is over on the Wanted channel. This person says that they're still obsessed with this cult conspiracy thriller, and now it's on Netflix. They say commentary. This Emmy award-winning thriller was a game changer and one that the best thrillers to ever hit television. Now, for the first time ever in the United States, it's available to stream in full on Netflix.
Well, go to Netflix quickly if this is your thing.
Yeah, because next week it could be gone. So Aaron Pruner put the article together. It's over at cnet.com. So let's see. Off the top of their head, they can think of 5 things that changed the very fabric of the medium of what, moviedom or television? I don't know. Twin Peaks, Lost,
television. Yeah.
The Sopranos, Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad. Although Game of Thrones shit the bed in the last season, so I don't. Whatever. Anyway, they wondered what series would capture the cultural zeitgeist next, and we talked about it on Friday that people are really looking for something that is part of the cultural zeitgeist of this generation, and there's nothing. Like, there's no movie that's a standout.
Much, right? Yeah.
There's no book that's a standout. There's no movie. There's no music. There's nothing. There's nothing at all. Sorry.
Maybe it's because the before times and the after times or something.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's it. So the program that they're talking about is an Emmy award-winning game changer and one of the best thrillers to ever hit television. Now, for the first time in the United States, it's available to stream full on Netflix. Mr. Robot? First time ever in the United States?
That's interesting. It must have been on a different platform. I don't know. I thought it was going to be something that hadn't been previously available in the US, but I guess this is something that hadn't been on Netflix.
Weird. Hello friend, Rami Malek's hacker antihero Elliot Alderson says in the opening moments of the pilot episode, he's talking to the audience. Moreover, the author took it to heart. By the way, the author, again, is Aaron Pruner. They took it to heart that they were talking to them directly. So as someone who related to his antisocial black hoodie wearing outcast vibe, they felt that Elliot was the TV embodiment of them. If my goth outcast phase of the 90s and 2000s never ended. So without getting into too much of the weeds here, they say Mr. Robot follows Elliot, a computer programmer who works for a giant company named E-Corp or Evil Corporation, depending on who you ask, by day, and flexes his chops as a hacker at night. He gets recruited by a mysterious anonymous-like organization that wants to crush corporate America, and the only issue is he works for the company at the top of the greedy corporate food chain. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, it's like a V for Vendetta style anarchist cult. Mr. Robot is an absolute banger of a TV show. What little I saw was kind of true to form, but you can't make hacking really sexy without going off the rails. Let's just say the sexiest that I ever had hacking where I was involved in it, where it wasn't because I was involved with an actual employer contracting me to do something, is dumpster diving, looking for information so that you can gain access to a system. That stuff doesn't take place anymore because there's no paper.
Right. There's no paper records of anything, I suppose.
It doesn't get printed anymore. So it doesn't exist.
It's not quite as dramatic if you're not diving into a dumpster.
Yeah, and it's hard to dive into the trash can on laptops and desktops because you hit your head on the monitor trying to...
I hate when that happens.
Anyway, it says, in fact, Malik is on another level here. Emotionally resonant, intense, vulnerable. His range runs the gamut, which thankfully somebody is using the right word. I cannot count how many times people say gambit.
Oh, yeah. It shows up in articles, too.
Professional articles and stuff. Yeah, it drives me nuts. And then, content creators say gambit. Anyway, simply enthralling is Elliot. As the world unravels, he's forced to question the chaos happening around him. He regularly breaks the fourth wall to talk to us at home, which is welcoming and unnerving, and invites us deeper into his reality. Yeah, it's a pretty neat show. I don't know. I didn't really get into it only because I just didn't have time to. I don't know if I would go back. I like laughs more than I like anything else, really. And no.
Right, this probably isn't humorous.
Ha ha, yeah. The masked spokesperson for the mysterious hacker group F Society delivers an ominous warning. F Society is like anonymous, but...
Oh, okay.
F Society. Anyway, cool. Well, now we know that this person is really enthralled by a hacker movie. Oh boy. Yeah, there's a lot of discussion. Yeah, sorry. I'm easily distracted. All right. But that's it for today's continuity report. And I'm going to have a discussion and see if we're going to do the next 3 shows, or it'll have to wait until Monday where I can kind of do it all at once. But we shall see. Maybe I'll do it a little bit later. Again, we shall see. But be sure to follow us here on Twitch and over on YouTube. And before we go, we are going to rewind the VCR so that we end up back at the front page of the continuity report over at ohmTown.com, where you should go and sign up or sign in. And be sure to follow us, because next week we're going to add another show, Constructagon, all about 3D printing and technology and whatnot. Okay, that's it. You want to say bye?
Bye-bye, hometown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's The Continuity Report. Stay tuned.
Bye-bye, everybody. Boop.